Something with that big brain of yours.
What? Go to college like you? So people can tell me stuff I already know?
Now, maybe it's just me, but college was very confusing times.
So you were born older. I suppose you've decided what you want to do when you get out of college.
Greetings. Welcome to the Fortified Conversation. If I could get my words out, my name is Tim Johnson. I'm your host. Ratio Christi Chapter Director out at Tarrant County College, South Campus here in Fort Worth, Texas. And with me today is a friend of mine who I finally got to meet this past summer. When I was first on with Ratio Christi a couple years ago, I had to watch these training videos, and there's these two people named Aaron and Jane. And I've watched all these videos, and we've been on these cohort Zoom meetings, and finally this past summer I got to make a new friend here, fellow Ratio Christi family member, Jane Pantig. Did I pronounce that right? Please.
It's Pantig.
Pantig. There we go. See, folks, I was just telling Jane earlier that I've been cutting back on coffee, and and I had a long day. I teach part-time at a school here in Arlington, so my brain's a little fried. So at this moment, I'm going to quit yammering on for those who are listening on Amazon, Spotify, and let Jane introduce herself. Go ahead, Jane.
Well, hello, I'm Jane. I've worked with Ratio Christi for 15 years this year, so, kind of one of the older staff here. Aaron and I were the first supported missionaries with Ratio, so that's why everybody gets to watch us on the videos. We get to tell you what to do and not what to do. So I did Ratio back in California for 10 years, and now I've been in Utah for 5 years. So time flies. This month is my 5th year in Utah, and Utah has its challenges, as you know, but I mean, it is also rewarding to just minister out here and see people come to faith. And so, that's just a little bit about me.
Yeah. Off camera, me and Jane were just kind of talking about, my wife is from the Philippines, and we've been married about 23 years. Going on this Sunday, we'll be celebrating.
Wow, congratulations.
23rd
Happy anniversary.
Appreciate it. I don't know if my wife will walk in. I use a fake background, people, as y'all know, who watch on YouTube. So my studio is my living room. So you may hear my wife come in. She works at a school district as well as a bus driver. So maybe you'll get to say hi to my wife during this recording and everything. And people listening can be introduced to my wife as well. But we were just talking about some like Filipino dishes. And like I was just talking about, we were telling Jane that like almost 90% of everything in this house is Asian cuisine of some sort. Mostly Filipino cuisine, but just Asian everything. It's like trying to get my kids to eat Mexican food or barbecue is just like pulling teeth. And I am a Southerner, okay? I was born and raised in the South, born in Missouri, raised in Texas, and so it's almost kind of heresy to me when someone says they don't like barbecue. I'm like, you need to get right with God,
Yeah.
It's like you need to accept Christ as your Savior, and then barbecue needs to be part of your cuisine from now on. That's just how it goes. So we were just talking a little bit about that. So what's your favorite Filipino dish?
Have you heard of sisig?
No, I have
It's like
not.
it's all these different pork parts, and it's just crunchy and chewy, and it's made with calamansi, which is the citrus that's from the Philippines.
Okay.
And so the area where my family's from, that's where it's originated from. So when people add eggs on top or mayo on top, like people from where my family's from is like, that's heresy right there. So you just got to keep it simple. It's just calamansi juice, salt and pepper, onions, and a little bit of the Thai chili. But like everybody wants to add like soy sauce or mayo to it, and that's like, no, that's wrong. Salt and pepper, that's it.
I think one of my favorite what has come to be one of my favorite dishes is Filipino spaghetti.
You like sweet spaghetti?
Well, I didn't know about it until a
Yeah.
couple years ago. Do you know who Richard Suttles is?
No, I don't.
He's known as the fallen atheist
Oh, I've
on
seen him.
Facebook.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So me and Richard are friends, and he was there at my house doing a dinner with an atheist event with my chapter out here. And he mentioned Filipino spaghetti. Now, Nessa didn't even, I think Nessa knew what it was, but she just couldn't quite remember. Like it clicked a memory for her. She's like, yeah, I heard of that. I think I've had it. I just don't remember. And so Richard's like, oh, you got to have Filipino spaghetti because Richard's wife, she's Filipino.
Okay, well, there's a
So
like
yeah,
here.
like I was like Filipinos, and
We're the
yeah.
coolest.
Yes, I agree. Since I'm married to one, I am obligated to say that for one. And that when me and Richard first got to know each other, and he found out Nessa was Filipino, he goes, "Well, now we have to be friends. That's a rule. If you have in-laws who are Filipino, your wife's Filipino spouse or whatever, you are now friends with every Filipino ever." So he was talking about how she makes Filipino spaghetti.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll try it out.
Yeah.
Because one of my our club president at the time, Carlos, he's Filipino, and he talked about it, and he was talking about how it has hot dog in it.
Yes, there's hot dogs in it.
I hate now. People who are watching and listening, if you're Filipino, don't before you get a knee-jerk reaction. I don't use hot dog.
Oh
Hot
no,
dogs are gross.
it's not a Filipino spaghetti.
No, hang on.
Okay.
I use beef franks.
Okay, that's
Okay.
a good substitute. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Specifically Hebrew nationals. They
Okay.
they've come to be one of my favorite beef franks that you can get in the grocery store.
Hey, those are pretty good.
So I
don't
substitute
like
that
hot dogs either, but those are
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, because hot dogs just rolled up bologna, and I don't like bologna.
Yeah.
So, anyways, and then so I made it. He sent me the recipe, and it was life changing.
Okay.
So
All right.
the recipe he sent me, though, is not sweet like the Jollibee.
Oh,
Filipino
Jollibee's
spaghetti.
really sweet. Yeah.
Okay, it's not really sweet at all.
Okay.
But it is really flavorful. I had to order banana ketchup through Amazon because you can't find it in the stores here in the States anywhere.
Really? You can't find Jufran?
I couldn't find it anywhere.
I'm pretty sure they have. Is there a Filipino grocery store around here?
No, but there's an Asian market near me now.
Man, they
really-
should have it.
So
Yeah.
I'll have to check. But at the time, I couldn't find it anywhere, so I had to order it. And I was like, banana ketchup? Now that is weird.
The spicy one is really good. So I think
Yeah.
the story behind banana ketchup is like, I don't think they had tomatoes in the Philippines or something like that.
Yeah.
So they used the bananas and they just colored them. And I think it was during wartime. So I
Yeah.
think the Americans wanted ketchup or something like that. And so they made banana ketchup.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, lo and behold, I made it.
Mm-hmm.
Came out great. Of course, I make my sauce from scratch,
Yeah.
and everything. And I was like, well, it just ruined regular spaghetti for me.
Wow.
Eh,
Those Italians must be jealous.
Yeah. So I'll definitely probably get some hate from the Italians today now whenever I post this episode. And,
Yeah.
like we have a whole bunch of meatballs stored in our freezer and spaghetti sauce, and I just like it just it's like I can't go back now. I can't have regular spaghetti and meatballs anymore because I just like this better. So then outside of Filipino spaghetti, adobo. Man, we almost make adobo every week.
Yeah. The national dish. I mean, there's
Yeah.
various ways to make it. Do you guys just do the basic soy sauce and vinegar?
Okay. Of course, you got the bay leaves, soy sauce. I think I use rice vinegar.
Okay. Yeah.
More
So
specific, right?
any kind of vinegar is fine.
Yeah.
As long as it's vinegar. But I mean,
What
there's some
else?
regions that actually use coconut milk and
Yeah.
just like different
Then,
kinds. But yeah.
then some brown sugar goes in it as well.
Okay.
And maybe not much more than that. It's pretty
Yeah.
simple. I keep it kind of simple.
Mine's very simple. I like mine more on the sour side.
Yeah.
So,
See, now I'm getting hungry. I haven't had lunch yet or breakfast.
yeah.
and
Well,
we're
we'll do
talking
a
about
cooking
it
show
now.
next time. How about
Yeah,
that?
there we go.
I'm sure Bill Scott would want to be on the cooking
Right.
show too. Yes.
Man,
Yeah.
he loves going to Chinatown. If you look
Yeah.
on Facebook,
Yeah.
he's posting everything about Chinatown
Yeah.
in Houston.
Yeah.
So, anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed the conversation about food there. Who doesn't?
Hmm.
But that's not the reason I asked Jane on.
Hmm.
As Jane, I think, just mentioned, where's your chapter again? One more time, remind everybody.
It's in the at the University of Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, those maybe not familiar with Utah, which I think most people would be.
Yeah.
Utah has, pretty much just founded almost
Hmm.
by the LDS
Hmm.
Church.
Yeah.
Brigham Young, I guess he's the one that brought him to Utah
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
stabbed that stick or javelin, whatever, and this is the place.
Yep. Hmm.
And I was just telling Jane a couple of years ago, I had my first exposure to Utah on a mission trip with my friends at Watchman Fellowship. And we were staying with some missionaries. And they were just talking about how it can very much be socially isolating there.
Hmm. Yep.
And so is that something that you experience as well? Or do you got a good support group doing
So,
college campus ministry at
yeah,
Utah?
definitely the one thing about moving to Utah, you really need to get plugged into a church community, be with a body of believers. This is a tough place. I mean, all your neighbors or a majority of your neighbors are going to be LDS, and you don't really form very close relationships with them because they have their own community, and they don't really mingle with outsiders unless they're trying to share their faith with you. So yeah, I've been here for 5 years. I've met LDS people. They're not going to go out of their way to hang out with you, like be like invite you into their community unless you're thinking of converting or something. So that could be a hard thing. And the culture is a bit different, especially for me coming here as a single woman. It's like big families here, and so I just don't fit the demographic here. Not blonde, not blue eyed, and it's just I drink coffee. So just it's just very different out here for people who come from other states. Like it's nothing like the rest of the United States.
So you've been there 5 years.
Hmm.
So let's say someone's listening right now and they're thinking about coming to Utah
Hmm.
to do mission work.
Hmm.
What is something that you said get plugged into a church? What are some
Hmm.
other things that you could advise them to do, kind of just to help them? Granted, first step,
Yeah.
get plugged into a church.
Yeah.
Are there any other things that you can advise them about, people who are listening right now?
Yeah, just getting connected because there's several different kinds of churches here and ministries, and so just getting acquainted with all the other Christians. There's not a lot of us out here, so we tend to know each other, and so just knowing that we're out here together and just being highly communicative with them, and just becoming friends with just all the Christians here. I mean, most of my friends that I hang out, we don't go to the same churches, but we all know we need each other. So, yeah, just finding other Christians. Yeah, Utah is a very isolating place. So sometimes I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, after a few years, just like this is hard, and so just always having people to encourage you, and yeah, it's really just being around other Christians because you need each other out here. There's just no way to survive Utah if you're not connected with other Christians.
Yeah, I I can't imagine what it's like to be kind of like in that. I'm in the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
So Texas, you throw a rock,
Hmm.
you're hitting a Baptist church like
Hmm.
9 times out of the 10. But
Hmm.
nonetheless,
Yeah.
there's a church almost at every corner, whether it be a Presbyterian church,
Yeah.
Methodist or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
There are those who are professing to be Christians everywhere.
Yeah.
So
So
I've
it'd be
never
the
had to,
opposite here. We would
yeah,
have wards, like every other block there's one, and then in the distance you'll see a temple. I know like a lot of people who come to visit are like, "Oh, wow, there's another LDS church." I was like, "Yeah, this is Utah." And they're like, "Oh, what's that over there?" "Well, that's a temple." And so there's so many of them here. So that's one thing you'll see very different about Utah is like you see temples and lots of churches here.
well, not to change the conversation too
Hmm.
much, but it's probably a question I should have led with.
Hmm.
How did you even get involved with Ratio Christie in the first place?
Oh yeah.
And
Hmm.
then what led you to make the move to Utah? Like
Okay.
what
Yeah.
what got into your mind and said, you know what, I need to go? Utah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I went to Biola University. I got my master's in Christian apologetics. And, I wanted to study apologetics because I was doing youth ministry. I was kind of, a newer believer. So I really wanted to get grounded in my faith. And I have a science background. And so when I became a believer, a lot of challenges. People are just like, oh, why would you believe in God? You believe in science and this and that. And I had a pastor who loved apologetics, introduced it to me. And I was like, wow, I did not know this stuff existed. So really got into apologetics. Then I went on to get a master's degree in Christian apologetics. And around the time I was graduating, Ratio Christi had become a nonprofit. And they were kind of recruiting out of apologetics programs and asking recent grads to come on as volunteers to go reach the campus. And so that sounded interesting because I got saved while I was in college. So I know how important it is to understand faith in that time. And so at the time they asked for volunteers, and I was like, well, I don't know if I could really do that. I have all this debt and I really need to get a job to pay off all my debt. And then I kind of was like, I don't know if I'm going to do that. And then I think it was probably a month later, I got another email from them and they said, hiring apologists. And I was like, oh, are they going to pay? And so I inquired about it and they're like, you have to raise money. And I was like, who raises money? I was just like new to Christian culture. I didn't know people did stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know if I could do that. But the Holy Spirit was just like really drawing me into this kind of ministry, and just, things worked out, and I went to a support training. So it kind of eased the anxiety of raising support and learning how to do it. And so, I told my mom, I was like, maybe I'm going to do this ministry. And, being Filipino, Asians are very practical and they're just like, what are you doing? But like she saw that the Lord was moving in that direction in my life. And she's like, I thought God would do something like this with you. And I was like, wait, Mom, is that you? What's going on here? And so, yeah. And then I talked to one of my pastors and, just got the blessings from a lot of people. And so, yeah, I decided to leave my job and go into full-time raising support and coming on as full-time staff. And that was back in 2011. So actually, like, I became a volunteer in 2011 and then I started raising support in 2012. And so I've been with Ratio Christi since 2011. So it's been a while. And so I did ministry in California for 10 years at several major universities. And then in 2020, we were doing mission trips to Utah, just kind of seeing what it's like to do missions work. And at the time, we worked with Maven. So they're the ones who kind of like showed us what it's like to do missions in Utah. And then Aaron Marshall kind of wanted to do it more in a Ratio Christi way. And so kind of learned a little bit from Maven and kind of gave it more of a Ratio Christi flavor to it. And so we've been doing missions here on our own since 2021. So 2020, when I came here, I had no idea what Utah was like, except for, it's Mormon land. And just as a week went by, I just felt more compassion for the people that lived here. And, we talked to women who've come out of polygamy, and that just really blew my mind, because I was like, I didn't realize polygamy was still a thing, And so that broke my heart for Utah. And I never thought I'd ever leave California, but coming to Utah and meeting Christians that were doing ministry here, and they were just sharing the need for Christians to move here and to just do the work. And so I was like, highly considered it. Then COVID happened, and I was like, well, maybe I won't move to Utah. So during, lockdowns and stuff, I thought about it more, prayed about it more, and it just seemed like that was the direction I was going to move into. And then I would come and visit Aaron Marshall's family during COVID, because it was really cheap to like fly at the time. And that just really eased me even more into moving here, because I got used to, being in Utah. And so by the time I moved, it was just kind of an easy transition.
So running a Ratio Christi chapter here in Texas, and then running a chapter in California, how does that compare to Utah though? Like, what are some things that
Utah, it's like you're either going to get LDS students, former LDS people, and then a little bit of everything else. Especially at the University of Utah, it's a little bit less LDS. I helped start the chapter at Utah Valley University, and that school is way more LDS. That school is about 70% LDS. So you kind of know what kind of conversations you're always going to get into at UVU. But at the University of Utah, because you get a lot of international students, it's more of a city, you get a little bit more diversity in thought, but you still have that LDS like foundational background. And so you'll still meet a lot of LDS students. So that's kind of the difference. Being in California, a lot of people were post-Christian, so people had never been to church and had nothing to do with religion. So a lot of like skepticism, just no affiliation with church, Yeah, so that's kind of the difference where it's highly religious here, and in California, you'll meet some Christians, and then you meet a lot of people who've never stepped into a church.
Yeah. Here at Tarrant County, I meet a lot of self-professed Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes through conversations, figuring out what they believe and learning about them. It's not always the case. But it seems like over here in Texas, once again, we're in the Bible Belt.
Mm-hmm.
Churches all over the place. So it's not uncommon for me, just as we're tabling, just having conversations, doing outreach, to have like just conversations where everyone's almost agreeing with you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, maybe they have a misunderstanding about some kind of secondary theological issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do get to have conversation with, a lot of students who proclaim to be agnostic. I have never really had a conversation, save maybe for one, who's someone that just claimed to be downright like an atheist,
Okay.
just like outright atheist.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of listening to what you're talking about. Man, I don't even know what outreach would look like on the campus. Like, what kind of conversations do you have?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in some ways, I hope this doesn't come out wrong. Because it's still, running an RC chapter still can be, everyone has their own challenges. Like I'm at a community college.
Yeah.
So my greatest challenge is just student leadership, because there's a high turnaround.
Yeah.
In community colleges. Your club, you could have one set of 12 to 15 students in a semester. Like you're hoping your officers come back the next semester,
Yeah.
So it has its own challenges, but nonetheless, I'm not having the conversations that you're having every day.
Yeah.
Every now and then some LDS missionaries are on campus. I think they know who I am by now, so they don't really talk to me. They almost
They put the
almost
little
avoid me.
circle around you not to come talk to you. Yeah.
So, and I'm not mean to them by any means, but they don't like the questions I ask. So,
Yeah.
But so, what does a day in the life at your campus look like when you're trying to do outreach? What kind of conversations do you even have?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our tabling questions are usually in terms of what we're going to be talking about at our meetings, so people know what we're going to talk about, and if they have more questions about it, they can come to the meeting. So a lot of it's just invitation at the table. We also do this thing called Deep Questions Club, where people could just ask you whatever question you want. We sit on the grass, have snacks, there's blankets, and so there's really no agenda. It's just like, hey, we're sitting here. We want to make friends with people. You want to see what's going on in people's minds. And, for me, it's always just having an inviting environment. That's just my goal. Because, if it's the truth, people should be led to the truth and they'll come to the truth. And I don't need to force it or be abrasive or be aggressive. It's just more like, let's just have these conversations. A lot of LDS people, nowadays they say they're Christian. The history of it, it's like, Joseph Smith called all the denominations abominations, and now they're calling us creedal Christians, and they're Christians. And so that's how they differentiate what kind of Christian you are. And so they're kind of making themselves just another denomination. But like when you talk to them, you're going to find out we really don't believe in this. All the essentials are not the same. And so those conversations could be really hard with LDS people because they want to be Christian, but it's like foundationally, they don't believe in what Christianity's always taught. So those conversations could be really hard with them because they call themselves Christians. So yeah, so those are the kinds of conversations we have on campus. I mean, there is one year where I just kept on meeting Muslim students, and I was like, I moved to Utah and all my conversations are with Muslims. So,
Interesting.
yeah, it was an interesting year.
I've had a couple conversations with
Yeah.
Muslim students
Yeah.
out here at Tarrant
Yeah.
County. Even had
Yeah.
lunch with a Muslim student for a couple
Mhm.
hours, and we talked.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I don't have a lot of interactions with
Mhm.
Muslim students, unfortunately. I would love to have more interactions. I'm not
Yeah.
running from it or anything. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah. The one thing that I really did appreciate with Muslims is like they're kind of straightforward. They're not
Yeah.
going to, beat around the bush. They just go for it. And so
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right, I can have this conversation with you. So that was a little refreshing for me because I didn't really have to give them a softball or anything. It's just like, just go
Yeah.
at it with them. So, and they were
Yeah.
from other countries, so they're used to that kind of debate and they don't get offended. And so, yeah.
Yeah. I remember my first conversation, maybe about a year ago. We were in front of a library tabling. I cannot remember how to pronounce this gentleman's name correctly. So if you come across this podcast, forgive me if I butcher your name. I think it's Martaza. I hope that is
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, and like, man, we were tabling. I don't remember what the topic was.
Mhm.
And we were kind of closing up shop, getting ready to head to our meeting because we were about to have a meeting in about 30 minutes, maybe an hour. And yeah, he was just like, yeah, you have corrupted scriptures. And I was like, all right, I can do this. Let's go. And it wasn't confrontational. We weren't yelling at each other. We
Yeah.
didn't get mad at each other. And that's the same student. About maybe it was a month later, we had lunch together. And for 2 hours, we just talked some more.
Yeah.
So that was refreshing because
Mhm.
I like to argue. So that's the thing there.
The quality of apologists that everybody thinks we do.
Yeah. So, but so do you have any LDS students that come to your meetings, and what is that like?
Yeah, we've
Um,
had some in the past, but I think after a while they'll come in like, well, they can't change their mind. So, you get those students that you call return missionaries, and they're still pretty zealous and they're just like really just trying to convert everybody. We've had some of those, and then they're just like, well, doesn't look like anybody's budging. So then they end up not coming anymore. But our chapter at UVU has a lot of LDS people, so you should probably get Aaron Marshall or Morgan on one of these podcasts because, yeah, UVU is like way different from the University of Utah.
and I don't know. Maybe we've had somebody that
Mhm.
I wasn't aware of that came to our meetings that was part of the LDS church.
Mhm.
I think I come in more contact with like Jehovah Witnesses
Okay,
most of
yeah.
the time.
Mhm.
Like I haven't had any LDS come to my door.
Mhm.
I've come across Jehovah Witnesses at a park.
Mhm.
They'll come to my door at
Yeah.
the airport.
Mhm.
I think maybe some Jehovah Witness students that I've come across. So like this LDS they don't have a big presence on campus. I think some of it's due to school policy too. So
Okay.
like
Yeah.
Tarrant County College is pretty strict about who comes on campus.
Okay.
Sometimes they give me some grief every now and then. So that's always
Are
fun.
you a registered club on campus?
We are a registered club on campus.
Okay, so that's interesting that they'd give you
So-
a hard time. Yeah.
So yeah, it's mainly we have to go through a lot of paperwork to do stuff.
Community colleges are hard. I mean, I did a community college back, a couple of them in California, and they had some of the strictest rules about getting a club on campus. That it's like you had to have 10 students with a certain GPA, you had to have 3 officers with a certain GPA, and they all had to be full-time students, and then you had to have a faculty advisor, and it was just so hard to get anything started on a community college. Yeah.
Tarrant County wasn't that bad.
Okay.
In light of some other stories that I heard,
Yeah.
like maybe from our buddy Carl down at Baylor, and what he had to go through, how long it took him to get a chapter going. I will say I've had it relatively easy,
Okay. Yeah.
but they've changed some policies the past couple of years that has made it a little bit more annoying than anything else.
Okay.
But nothing that I can like scream out and go about or anything, you know. Like we have to have our sponsors, our faculty sponsors at every meeting. So
Yeah, that's like if they have busy
yeah.
lives,
So
that's hard. Yeah.
like that happened our second semester of our
Yeah.
first year.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't recognize us, approve our application until later in the fall semester. So, I mean, I will say our chapter probably started relatively quickly compared to other chapters that we have. But then they're like, yeah, spring semester, your advisor has to be at all meetings. And
Yeah,
that
I
like,
think I've heard of that at some schools.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that like killed some clubs actually.
Yeah.
And then right now, we're the only Christian club on campus. Like, that's it.
Oh, wow.
Like, fall 24, there were like 3 of us. Some rule changes hit, and boom.
Yeah.
Like, one just pretty much just died out. Other one held on for another semester, but they had to start doing their meetings once a month due to their faculty sponsor.
Okay.
And they were available. We were just blessed. Our faculty sponsor, awesome man of God. He was one of my music teachers here at TCC when I went back to school. And it just worked out where he could just be at every meeting.
That's great. Yeah.
And he has been faithful. Then I just started reaching out, cold emailing, professors. I take classes here at TCC just for some self-enrichment of my own because I can't afford to pursue my master's yet because I'm poor. So I take philosophy classes here and everything. And it's a good way to meet more students, raise awareness of Ratio Christi. So I've built some relationships with professors here. And so we're blessed now, starting this semester, we have 2 faculty sponsors now. So those are just some of the challenges here at college camp that we face here on college campus ministry. But for the most part, they made tabling a little bit more annoying. We gotta get it. We have to put in an application, a request form, probably a better term for it, 30 days in advance.
Oh gosh.
So I just annoy them because I'm submitting a request form every week, 30 days in advance, to the point now they're just like, are you just wanting to table every week at this time, at this place for like the whole semester? And I'm like, yes. I'm going to keep putting in these request forms otherwise. So last semester, our student activities director, she goes, I just have you set for the whole semester now.
Okay.
For tabling. Because she
great.
just kept getting request forms from me. It's like, if that's what you all want me to do, that's what I'm going to do. And now now that I've kind of adjusted to being a part-time supported missionary for Ratio Christi and being a school teacher, like, okay, this is what my schedule looks like now. This is where my workload is. So now I can up my game on TCC campus where we used to table once a week. Then I would do lunches with students on campus once a week. Now I'm shooting for tabling twice a week, being on campus 3 days a week rather than like 2.5. And, really upping my game. Still trying to find an assistant chapter director right now. That finding volunteers has been one of my struggles here at TCC. So I don't know what it's like at your campus, how you find volunteers and everything.
Yeah, well, I just got an intern finally again, so that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, like Salt Lake City is very transient, so like you'll have some volunteers and they leave, and so that's the one thing. Like people don't really stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the greatest struggles is because with the community college here, there's no nightlife, there's no dorms.
Okay.
So, and everybody's a commuter student, obviously, because no dorms. Most of everybody, the age ranges are from old farts like myself to dual credit students, like Tarrant County College, South Campus. has a dual credit high school on their
Yeah,
campus.
I've heard of those. Yeah.
So I get RC students as young as like 15, 16 years old
Wow.
coming
Do
to
you
our
send them
meetings
to, do you
sometimes.
have a RCCP too? Is that something
Not
that you're
yet.
doing? Okay.
I'm looking at doing one at the school I'm
Okay.
at Pantigo,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not going to be the chapter director of that thing. I already
Uh-huh.
have one.
Yeah.
But I have a fellow school teacher in mind. He just doesn't know it yet. So
Okay.
I'm going
Yeah.
to try to recruit him in the near
Uh-huh.
future, talk to him about it. But I mean, those are just some of the challenges I face at
Mm-hmm.
TCC. So we have our meetings kind of like we used to have them around 1 o'clock, but a lot
Mm-hmm.
of students had,
Lunchtime.
yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
students had classes still during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we moved ours to 3:30 in the afternoon where most of the
Mm-hmm.
classes are done. And I kind of watched other clubs when they would meet, and that's a typical time that a
Okay.
lot of other
Yeah.
clubs meet. So we meet on Mondays at 3:30 to 5. So because
Yeah.
now typically none of our students are in a rush to get to their next class. Because we
Mm-hmm.
would have students that could stay for maybe 10, 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and then they would have to go to a 2 o'clock class.
Mm-hmm.
We were more restricted to keep it at 1 hour because our faculty sponsor had a class at 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a club, students were talking. I was like, what do y'all think about doing a time change? And
Mm-hmm.
so now we have a more relaxed environment. We meet for an hour and a half. We game out for a little bit, have fun. Then we covered the topic for today and so forth. Even going to start doing some praise and worship meetings starting this
Cool.
semester.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, those are kind of the experiences that I have here at Tarrant County College. Uh, my desire, you know, just I have to try to get things viable here at TCC right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is like to try to be a chapter planner. I kind of see my vision, my goal with Ratio Christi kind of being that role because
Mm-hmm.
we don't have them at the other 4 TCC campuses.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 5 campuses total at TCC, and then UT Arlington is right here
Okay.
in my backyard. We used to have one there at around COVID time, and now we don't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to try to help get one started there. We have a guy named Brian at TCU trying to get one started. I haven't heard from him in a while. I tried to touch base with him, see how he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to kind of introduce him to the BSM director over there. So I don't know where he's at right now with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and then maybe help try to get one back at DBU because we had a chapter there, and it kind of died out because all the students graduated out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
And
happens.
and they didn't have a chapter director. So,
Mm-hmm.
Travis Dickinson was the sponsor over there,
Mm-hmm.
if you know who he is. So,
Yeah. I
okay.
don't know if I do.
All right.
What's the name again?
His name's Travis Dickinson.
No, I don't think I've
Yeah.
met him. Yeah.
So he's a DBO professor. He was a faculty sponsor there and gotten to know him some. So, I mean, so those are kind of some of the challenges that I face over here at Tarrant County College. But, I mean, and I kind of just wanted to bring you on that podcast, kind of talk about college campus ministry, what it's like.
Yeah.
Some people don't really get it,
Yeah.
Oh, you're just a glorified Bible study. What do you do? And then I
We are
have to-
definitely not a glorified Bible study.
Yeah.
Although we do Bible study, that's
You're
not.
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm still trying to work on having a separate Bible study on campus right now. That's one of the things. So mainly when we get together, we talk about, we have a theme for the semester. So we're kind of doing themes. This semester we're calling the receipts, where we're talking about 4 Christian doctrines. Why do we believe this? Why do we believe what we believe? Not just what we believe.
Yeah.
But why do we believe it? What are the
Yeah.
evidences behind it being true? So it's a little bit, more nerdy out type studies than, a typical Bible study would be. So I'm wanting to do both.
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of figuring how to do that where people will actually show up,
Yeah. 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 It's
So-
always a challenge with school schedules. Like some semesters you have a bunch of students at the Bible study, and then the next semester
Yeah.
it's like everybody's falling off. So
Yeah.
being in campus ministry, you got to be really flexible and,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like they're college kids are doing so much at one time, and
Right.
yeah, so
So especially community college students, most of them all work jobs, and
yep, that makes sense. Yeah.
so then I have students that are dual credit, so they're at the mercy of their parents picking them up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to come, but I have to leave because my mom and dad picked me up at 2:30.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's not much you can do about that
Yeah.
because there's a lot of dual credit students at Tarrant County South Campus. A lot. So I'm just like, still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
This is my third year into this.
Yeah.
And you've been doing this forever, so I'm sure you come across all this that I'm talking about right now.
Yeah. When you're talking about community college, it just like brings me back to all the challenges
Yeah.
I had when I was in California. So it was
Yeah.
always hard to get that recognition, but because it's a public place, you can still come on campus and hang out with students. So we continue to do that, and that's all you can do until you get all the right people in place.
Yeah, every now
Yeah.
and then when I get to talk to Corey or Tony or someone, they still try to push me to go to a 4-year university.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. But the Lord really just laid it on my heart to go to TCC because, like I said, that's where I went to school once I got laid off. And I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life, And I just had so many connections already there that to me, when I finally moved forward with joining Ratio Christi, it just made sense to me. Given all the qualifications, it's like right in my backyard. It takes me maybe 7 minutes to get to my campus. Maybe.
That's really close. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very convenient. Yeah.
Yeah. And I already had faculty connections. I knew the campus. I knew the culture. I knew the scheduling. I knew when the best times were to be on campus. I already started getting to know the current campus minister there. I mean, it just lined up to me where I was like, it just makes sense. Yeah, you're telling me it's going to be hard, which in some ways, when you tell me not to do something, that makes me even more stubborn. Where I'm like, that makes me want to do it more sometimes. But
Yeah.
I
Don't touch the wet paint. And you're like, I want to
Yeah.
touch the wet paint.
Right? Don't touch the electric fence. And I'm the idiot that'll probably touch the fence. So, but I don't regret my choice. It's been hard. Sometimes it's been discouraging. And
Yeah.
if you're considering college campus ministry, you're listening to this right now, listening to me and Jane, she's in a different atmosphere and culture than I am, because that's why I wanted to bring her on, kind of talk about what it's like to do college campus ministry at an LDS environment, but just college campus ministry, period. And she's done such a great job doing it. I know she's planted a couple of RC chapters. And so just kind of close out this segment, what are just some key points you would tell someone who is considering starting a Ratio Christi chapter? One, you should. We're the best college campus ministry ever, So, but outside of that, what are some things that you would advise them to do if they're considering joining Ratio Christi or any college campus ministry?
Yeah. The one main thing is like, you really have to have a heart for college students. I think sometimes people who want to do campus ministry with us think they're just going to come in and teach apologetics and that's it. That's only part of it. A lot of it is recruiting and tabling, and that's the hardest part, is trying to find students to join your club. And being a part of Ratio Christi, that's where a lot of people have a lot of hiccups, because they love the apologetics, but the admin part is part of the job. Networking is part of the job. And so I know a lot of apologists tend to be introverted, so it's going to be really hard to do. It's hard to do campus ministry if you're introverted, because you have to be really outgoing. You have to be willing to talk to students. It's kind of a high energy thing. And so just thinking about, what kind of energy you could put into it is very important, because what you put it into is what you're going to get out of it. So if you're not doing much, you're not really going to have that much of an impact. So just loving students, being flexible. Yeah, I'm sure the apologetics part is really easy for people, but it's the relationships, the conversations, that is where you see the most success, is when you are able to talk to students, get to know them, and be inviting to them, because, they sit through lectures all the time. They don't just need another person to come and teach at them. We need to be more than just teachers. We need to be, advisors, counselors, friends, help them in discipleship. And so it's more than just teaching apologetics, which is why a lot of people think like, oh, you guys just do apologetics. Like, no, there's way more to it than just teaching apologetics. We're teaching people to be winsome in their faith, to share their faith. And so there's a lot more that goes into it than what people might think Ratio Christi is. And so I'd say if you just want to teach apologetics, this is not the ministry for you. Yeah.
I just love to disciple.
Mm-hmm.
It is a passion of mine. And it just happens that I use apologetics in part of my discipleship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not an outgoing person. I am
Yeah.
not.
That's why you need your coffee. I'm sure it turns you into a different person.
But I don't have a problem with public speaking. I've done that forever.
Yeah.
I went to seminary when I was like 17 years old in high school,
Oh, wow.
I preached my first sermon at 14. I more struggle in the small group scenario where you have to get more personal.
Yeah.
That's what I hate.
Yeah.
Like, I can speak in front of large crowds any day of the week. Doesn't bother me. Don't get nervous about that whatsoever. I don't get nervous about tabling. Like, I'm pretty outgoing because I'm passionate about what I do. It's when we get in our meetings, I struggle with the conversational part. So one of the things that I'm trying to do right now is find people for my team that will help me with my deficiencies, where I struggle at. Okay, so I struggle at being more outgoing in more personal settings. So I need to surround myself with people who are good with connecting with people. Yes, I'm trying to get better at it. I do. I have lunches with, my male students and everything. I don't do individual lunches with female students. It's not a sexist thing.
Yeah, it's just,
being smart about things.
Yeah.
But if we do have a lady student with us, I'm going to have someone else with me.
Yes.
And it's going to be in the student, cafeteria area where everyone can see, But, those are one of the things I would advise someone to do as well. Jane gave some great advice. You're going to have to be passionate about college students. And that's one thing I did have. I will say that, even though I kind of struggled with the conversational aspect in the personal manner.
Well, there's always room for improvement with conversation, because people don't believe it, but I am an introvert. But over time, because I've done ministry, I call myself an omnivert, because I can turn on the extrovert, but I could turn it off when I need to. And when you have a heart for students, there's just no way you're not going to want to have conversations with them. There's something that changes in you once you kind of been doing it for a really long time. You just have more compassion, and you're just like, people need Jesus. Say hello. How are you doing?
So I don't call myself an omnivert. I used the term, I kind of got inspired from the Sherlock series with Benedict Cumberbatch.
I've never seen it.
It's a great little series, modern take on Sherlock Holmes. He always called himself a high-functioning sociopath. But now I do not call myself that. I don't call myself a high-functioning sociopath.
Okay, yeah.
But I use the term, I call myself a high-functioning introvert.
Okay. So does that mean you're more introverted, high-functioning, or high-functioning?
High-functioning in the social aspect.
Okay, gotcha.
Not like highly introverted.
Yeah.
I can do socialization for a more extended period of time than most introverts.
Yeah.
Then I come home, go in my room, and crash for a little bit because I just feel totally exhausted from all the conversations and everything. I still find myself like when I'm doing talks at churches and everything, where I need to go shake hands, introduce myself to the congregation and everything. I still have to build up myself to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I had to take a couple of breaths first.
Yeah.
And what I call it, I go, all right, find your inner pastor.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
I'm like, time to get my pastor on. I have to psych myself up to go shake hands when churches invite me to come speak and everything. Because, like I said, I can get up behind that pulpit and just go. That is not hard. But just having to go shake hands and still try to start conversations. It's gotten easier over the years. I still struggle with it. My wife is awesome. She can just talk to anybody.
Yeah.
You know? So
Does she come to campus with you at all?
She works during our hours during the meetings.
Oh.
But
Sounds like she would help a lot if you brought her along. Yeah.
Dude, man, she would. I would love to have her out there. And just right now, our finances dictate she's still, she's been with the school. She's worked with Texas school districts overall for like 15 years.
Okay.
So, I mean, her retirement's well invested and all that, but of course, students come to my house all the time. So
cool. That's awesome.
So she's met the students. It's not like she hasn't interacted with them. And haven't sat down and had pizza. Yeah. We've had Mario Kart gaming here and then watching some people try to do a dance off in my living room randomly.
All right.
That's interesting.
That's like so not Roshio Christie. Everybody's probably freaking out a little bit. Like the dance party.
Okay. Our founding student president, her name was Marissa. She was married. She helped Roshio Christie get going here at TCC. Her husband, Trey, was on staff with me at Pleasant View. Okay. So my first year was a volunteer chapter director, and I was on staff at Pleasant View Baptist Church. So he would come to our meetings at my house, and I don't know where we got on the conversation about breakdancing or something. I do not know. And the man in my living room, I still got the video on my phone because I posted it on our Roshio Christie Facebook page. It's somewhere on there. If you want to look it up, look up Roshio Christie Tarrant County College, and I think I got the video on our page. He started randomly doing the worm in my living room in front of everybody, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And yes. And to the horror of some of the introverts, they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I'm sure they were freaking out.
I thought it was hilarious. Yeah. Because I have a demented sense of humor as it is. I've always been told I have a dry sense of humor. So I can mess with people, sound like I'm totally serious. Yeah. And one of the worst things you'll ever say to me is, I can't tell if you're joking. Then I'm motivated to do it more. Yeah. So, like at our national conference, I was really trying to be careful of that. But then again, I'm like, wait a minute. One of the most common ingredients among all apologists that I have found, outside of being introverted, is being extremely sarcastic. So I said, I should fit in well here. I should be fine. And lo and behold, my fellow RC family members did not disappoint. In fact, I was talking to Nessa. I was like, I know I'm a nerd. And I say this in an affectionate way, and I know these people would own it. I go, there are people that I got to meet at RC that made me look like I am an amateur nerd. Yeah. Like, dude, I thought I was a nerd. Like, I have the basic qualifications. I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. I've seen the extended editions. I love Star Wars.
By that standard, I'm not a nerd.
Oh, no. Well, I would say at our conference, you would be hard-pressed to find someone that was not a Lord of the Rings fan.
No, literally everybody talks about those things. And I forget if it was Bill Scott. He's like, Jane, we're just gonna have to lock you up in a room and force you to watch these movies. I was like, oh boy.
I would almost say, for now on, we need to get a hold of Wesley and say it has to be part of new chapter director training. It just has to be.
We might lose some people if you want to get some new blood into the organization. I don't know.
I mean, we attract the nerds, that's for sure.
We need a little bit of a blend, though.
Yeah.
We need to get some people who aren't, a little bit more sociable too. So
Yeah,
we
I
need
would
a little
say
bit of everybody.
I would say I'm blended because I'm also come from a background.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm a band nerd, but
Yeah.
I've also done my background in music. I'm a punk rock drummer,
Okay. All
so
right.
I've
Well, you
done
could have
rock,
a
punk
Roscoe
rock.
Christie band. You should get together
Yeah,
with Bill Scott and
yeah.
yeah,
Bill's the big jazz guy. Man, he's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I've watched some videos of him playing.
Hmm.
He can play gospel, which gospel's really hard because it's akin
Hmm.
to jazz.
Hmm.
He's much better than I am in
Hmm.
those areas,
Hmm.
So I'm like I'm definitely a nerd, but I got
Hmm.
a little bit of like I won't say cool qualities, but little drops of what typically would be kind of like little anti-nerd qualities,
Okay. Yeah.
You know, you won't find too many nerds being in rock bands,
Uh huh.
and especially punk rock bands and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, and I wear a leather jacket, trying to be cool. Try to pretend. I just like black leather jackets. I like
Uh-huh.
the color black.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I'll tell you my favorite color is blue.
Okay.
But then you see the way I dress, you're always like wearing black.
Hmm.
You like black cars,
Yeah.
and everything. But you tell me your color is blue. I know.
Yeah.
I'm full of paradoxes.
Hmm.
So, anyways, folks, thank you for joining us. But I don't. On my podcast, you never know where the conversation goes. We try to
Yeah.
keep it on the main topic, but we just try to keep it fun as well. And just thank you for making us part of our day. Jane, where can people find you? Because Jane and I are both supported missionaries. So, Jane, I'm going to give you a quick sec to do a shout out for yourself.
Yeah, you just go to our website, roshochristie.org, and I'm pretty sure you could just type in my name and something will pull up. I don't memorize my link. So you just find me at Jane Pantig on the Roscoe Christie page.
Well, we'll definitely be putting her
Hmm.
link in our podcast description on Amazon and Spotify. Then, of course, on YouTube, we typically post the hour-long video recording a couple weeks after we post the podcast. Typically, hour-long ones I divide to in part one and part two. People listen to us on a morning commute and whatever.
Hmm.
But my name's Tim Johnson. Once again, I'm the chapter director at Roscoe Christie Tarrant County College. And I'll post our, if you want to give, the Lord lays on your heart, or you want to learn how you get involved. Either you're listening and you're in Utah, you want to learn how you can get involved. We'll give you some information how to get in contact with us. We'd love to have you out there. Come mingle with the students, serve the Lord together. And also, I've started a ministry about a year ago. It's kind of a personal ministry I do here in Texas, statewide. Kind of complements Roscoe Christie's called Fortify Apologetics Ministry. We do workshops. We got a couple of conferences coming up for those who are listening. This October at Pleasant View Baptist Church, we have the Fortify Apologetics Conference. We're going to be talking about what does it mean to be made in the image of God. We're gonna,
Nice.
and we have our very own Bill Scott coming out. He's going to be talking about navigating the LGBTQ minefield. We're going to have Eric Hernandez out talking about does the soul exist. My friend Brady Blevins from Watchman Fellowship talking about, what biblically, what does it mean to be made in the image of God. We got people coming out from Reasonable Faith, my friend Alan Hayline. We got Brian Thomas out from Institute from Creation Research. And then we got author, apologist, DBU professor Travis Dickinson talking about reason, God being the reason for reason. I mean, this thing is going to be stacked. And if anything, lunch is included, and we are serving the Lord's Chicken that day, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
So you will not want to miss out. Saturday, October 17th at Pleasant View Baptist Church. I'll leave a link in our description. You can visit our website at fortifyapologetics.com. Thank y'all for joining us. Have a blessed day, and see you next time.